welcome to Outnumbered Overtime. This is where the conversation that we normally have at the commercial breaks, we take it to the web. But literally, just off camera, we were all talking about politics and how difficult the conversation is to have wherever you are in your day. It is difficult. It's difficult times.
Getting harder.
Yeah, people are so emotional about it right now. And you know, you have to be very careful. You have to tread carefully, I guess, and just be very sensitive to everyone, because you never quite know where anyone is coming out on things. And people take it, I think, Lisa, so personally.
They really do, but try being Josh, because if you say that you worked for Mitch McConnell, I assume that elicits some pretty strong responses, both good and bad. Same when I was working for the National Republican Congressional Committee. You tell people where you work, and it's either a conversation ender or it's like, oh, that's so cool, like, let's talk about that. Yeah. Totally. So it's a quick way to, like, weed through people, or also potential dating as well. Because
I know I think I should rethink this, like, credit card holder on the back of my phone, because that's an interesting one on the train. You're like, even in my ponytail and no makeup. But Josh Holmes is on the couch with us today, and good to have you back.
It's so good to be here.
How's your life these days?
You know, it's interesting. It's just a fascinating time to be in D.C. because there's so many things that are different. And I think this president, if he's kept one clear promise, it's that he's going to do things very differently than has been done up to this point. Now, you can make your arguments about whether that's effective or not, but clearly we're approaching all of this in a different way. And so D.C. is an interesting time. Our politics is an interesting time. To your point about the discourse, though, I mean, we really do need to remove ourselves from questioning everybody's motives for things. You know, you can disagree. We all come from different parts of the country. We've got different things that are important to us and different goals that we want to accomplish. But you don't have to say, you know, this person is un-American, this person is, you know, whatever their motives may be. We're all kind of trying to get to the same place. The question is how you get there.
For example, a business-friendly environment, which Trish and I talked about all through the election. It's not Republican, it's not Democrat. It's who can make a prosperous America, who can, you know, be more friendly towards businesses, these regulations that have stifled businesses, taxes that have gotten out of control. We said that all the way through, and then emerged.
Well, you know, and I think that's where he really resonated. I mean, we were talking about Hillary Clinton, the book's out and everything. She's asking what happened, and she's got a lot of people and things to blame. But the reality is it was the economy, right? I mean, it is the economy. And people typically, election after election, vote their pocketbooks, and they vote for the person that they think fundamentally can help them. And I don't think that Hillary Clinton was ever seen as being someone who could make changes in this economy, understood the economy to the level that we need. If you strip out all the personality traits that may be somewhat polarizing of Donald Trump, you know, at its heart is a lot of, I would argue, as a business reporter, good, strong economic policy. I mean, you think about tax reform. It's crazy that we're not more competitive as a nation in terms of what we offer businesses for a tax environment. That's absolutely silly. Why do we let, Lisa, trillions of dollars sit offshore rather than bring
What's astounding is we're still not even talking about getting even more competitive as far as that corporate tax rate. I mean, we're still throwing 15% out there like that's some huge cut for corporations, and that doesn't even put us in the lowest tax bracket in the world.
Ireland's 12.
About the humanity aspect, though, and also I was trying out a more comfortable position because Jessica and I were talking about
OT as
more comfortable positions.
Does this look okay?
So, yeah, we were trying to see.
I like want to look, you know.
So that's what's going on.
Alert.
I think you guys are working that in.
We were doing different.
I'll be laying down.
I'll be taking a nap shortly.
Pillow.
But you talk about humanity, but we see what's going on with Harvey and the relief, and even with Irma, and I think it sort of restores your faith in humanity. And you're like, okay, we've all thought, you know, the country's so broken, but it's really not. Like, when people need each other and when communities need each other, people pitch in, and you know, ideology is irrelevant.
Totally,
race
but those
is irrelevant.
Going back to a key theme of the election. Those people, the people that are out there, Trish's kids who wanted to go down to Houston to help out.
Cute. I liked that on Instagram.
It was totally adorable, and it was so American, and obviously great parenting there that they even thought that was something that they should be. You're very welcome. But we're talking about real Americans, right? We're not talking about elites. We're not talking about people who are, you know, writing in the New York Times.
Like the ones who criticized Melania Trump for walking to the plane in her heels.
Well, I was thinking, and I just said to you, I was in Dallas this last weekend for the first time, and I went to the JFK Museum, which was astoundingly powerful, and everyone should go. Jackie Kennedy wore heels too. It was a different time,
and she
looked great, and Melania looked great. I don't care.
Beautiful.
We have so many bigger fish to fry, and there's so many things that if you want to pick on, you know, you shouldn't pick on Melania or any of these things. But if you want to have a conversation about her
I want to go to this JFK museum.
you have to go.
Cool.
And Dallas is also super fun. And I went to my first NFL game, the Cowboys-Giants game.
Oh,
Yeah, ever.
Oh my goodness.
It was really exciting.
What a trip.
That's the most offensive thing you've ever said.
Sorry, no, it was awesome.
Can I just break some
democratic.
news here? I took Harris to her first Major League Baseball game.
See?
Wow.
When I found out she had never been to a baseball game, I took her to a Yankees home opener.
Good for you.
And
Did she like it?
oh my God, I'm like, actually, I didn't plan on staying the whole game, Harris. Like, she loved it. Yeah, I think she liked it.
So it's like you didn't have a choice. Like my dad would always watch. He took me, you know, grew up going to hockey games, you know, watching football. I mean, that's what happens when my older brother would like turn our house into a sports arena. My mom would be horrified.
You're like huge
It's the
sports.
perfect dodge when you get into that uncomfortable family political conversation. Sports.
Sports.
There you go.
I think that's why everybody got so upset last football season when things got so political with
Yeah.
Right.
NFL.
No, I know. And actually,
People were like, this is my one safe space.
they have a problem with that. I mean, sports has a problem with that. If you look at what's happening at ESPN,
Sure.
almost every day you read about they've waded into some liberal controversy. The management of that place. Keep politics out of sports. I mean, that's the last refuge
I think
we've got.
generally people agree with that, and I know there's a lot of discussion around Lady Gaga choosing not to get political, right?
Which
she
is
just went
cool.
out there,
I
and
respect
which was
it.
well,
Classy
I actually
move.
thought it was the right choice, but there are a lot of people who thought that was actually a betrayal of who she has been. She's been so active.
You know,
I
entertainers should
personally
be
agree with it.
entertainers, right? You know, and I put sports into that category too. If you're an athlete, you're effectively an entertainer, and you leave the political commentary to the political commentators. You don't need to.
But
wade
you have
into
such
that.
a big
And
platform. Why shouldn't you use it if something's really
People
important?
don't want to
you?
listen to us
It's our
call the
escape.
plays in sports. Like, I'll tell you a funny story. Special report. We had to talk about our predictions for the Super Bowl. I got information from my older brother, and he had said that. What was it that one of the teams had played on like a turf field or something that would give them an advantage? But I guess it was because they were in a dome. They practiced on a turf field on a dome that gave them an advantage. So I say this thinking I'm all cool and I know all the stuff from my older brother. I got so many tweets from people being like, "You dummy! Everyone plays practices."
Oh yeah,
You just stick with what you know, and you shouldn't be wading in.
My
to
husband
other
always
things.
advises me to stay. In fact, I'll tell you a little secret. When there's any sports story on my show, I go into overdrive to triple check everything because I'm like, I could so easily embarrass myself. You want to talk about the Fed? I got you from here to Sunday, but
You know, it's the only.
We need to know our lane. You know.
What's funny though is it's the only two professions where everyone who's a fan thinks they can do it, right? Politics and sports. Nobody sits around and says, the accountant, yeah, I can do that, no problem. No, nobody says you can fly
I
a
didn't think
plane.
I could do it, but I had no choice. That's why I went to older brother, and he gave me key points that I did not.
so you
I didn't relay them. No, he
love
told me
that.
correctly. I relayed it wrong. I was incorrect, and I was very embarrassed by it because people notice things.
Josh, by the way, what are your sports
everyone
teams?
knows it.
Well, I'm from Minnesota, so I'm a huge Minnesota Vikings fan. I grew up Minnesota Twins fan. Although, living in D.C., the Nats are just an incredible team to watch. I mean, really fun. They're having a great year. I hope they make a deep postseason run. But I watch everything. I watch college football. I mean,
Did that go like this?
No, I got it. I mean, like, I grew up in New England, New Hampshire, so the Red Sox were a big deal.
Oh,
the Celtics.
please. The last thing we need is another Red Sox fan.
Here we go. Here we go.
The whole control room is like, yeah. This whole show, there's such bias. Anytime we report sports, oh my. Tom Brady couldn't do no wrong, by the way.
well, he did a lot wrong last week.
Unbelievable. Oh my gosh, you guys are crazy.
Happened. Yeah.
Is our 10 minutes up yet?
People are probably like,
Digress.
Tom Brady, when we had to cover oh my God, Deflategate. Oh, please, they're making such a big deal out of this.
There's never been a press conference
He
with more
deflated the
innuendo
footballs.
than his deflated football.
Let's be clear.
It's really funny
also
because
so
I actually was
lame.
pretty critical of him too at the time, and I'd get calls from my mother. Very upset because you cannot say anything against Tom Brady. That's the home team. You got to be careful.
All right. So once again, have we reached 10 minutes?
I can keep talking.
Love OT and love our viewers, but you know, some of us do have other things to go on to.
We've both got shows today.
We both have shows at 2 o'clock. Live shows at 2 o'clock. Tune into those. Thank you to everybody for being here.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
All right, we'll see you tomorrow live at noon.